Hi. That's a dub. That's a Bears dub. That's a Bears dub.
They could do it. I said it. They're in every game.
That is a Bears dub.
They could do it.
Oh my God.
Good job.
I love the strategy at the end. I know you don't like it, Joel. I love the strategy at the end. I thought that was smart offensive line play. I'm sorry. I thought that was smart strategy, smart offensive play. I think that realistically speaking, running the football in that situation is always tough, but you got to keep the clock running there, and you're putting your best unit back on the field. That's what I love about it. You put your best unit back on the field, and they immediately come out and make an impact, and it has nothing to do with the receivers that are out there. It has nothing to do with the running game that's out there. It had to do with your DBs and Matthew Stafford. I love that.
So Kurt.
My thing was
Yes.
My thing was it's not so much. Yes, of course I want them to run the clock out. I don't want you to just pass the ball and be silly. What I'm saying is, at that second down play, I would have rather they called a different play where if you're going to have Swift be the guy, whether it was a wheel route, whether it was another, the way that you'd use him earlier, that was a negative play where he went to the outside and got stopped. So it didn't go for positive yardage. Even if you did short yards with a tight end, curl route, something, Swift, all those guys to give you some options where someone's sitting at the first down marker, I would have rather went that way. But hey,
I just think at that point the goal is not simply to score a touchdown. Your goal in that moment is to make sure that this clock does not stop running to put you in a good position to go out there and to get a win.
Well,
I think, listen, at the end of the day, dare I say, this Bears team in the second half was flawless. I thought the first
really
half,
good.
in the first half, there was a ton of problems. In the first half, there was a ton of things that I was concerned with. But in the second half, I can't say the same. I thought they came out and they controlled the game. I thought that they controlled the how LA ended up being able to dictate their game. I thought that this defense absolutely had Matthew Stafford kind of in cuffs the entire day. And I think that this is a good win to get. Are there moments in the first half that I am still upset about? Yeah, my quarterback in the first half didn't come alive until the very end of the first half. You end up with 8 for 13 for 71 yards. You get a couple of rushing touchdowns in there.
Yeah.
But that second half, to me, while still not crazy numbers, all of a sudden you got him going efficiently. 9 for 10 in the second half for 86 yards. He ends up throwing a touchdown. You get DeAndre Swift going by using some of that underneath stuff. You had a good balance of Roschon Johnson and DeAndre Swift for the game in total. I mean, Roschon ended up getting 7 carries for 26 yards, but it's all of the short yardage stuff. It's all of the punch him in the mouth stuff. I thought that was a good back and forth between the team. And I think that if you see more of that, you're going to see a team that can find a way to win against some of these younger teams, some of these young quarterbacks you have coming up. You got Jaden Daniels coming up. Now you got Andy Dalton coming up. Andy Dalton doing a little bit better, but I still think he's going to get a dominant showing from the defense when they go up against him. I think that you have exactly what you need to see from this team overall. And I hear you, Muck, still talking about this defense is not elite. 15 points. 15 points.
Thank you, babe. Yeah, I mean, to your point, man, I mean, it's what you need is the offense to start to click, to look competent. So as long as we have the defense that we have that stays healthy, we're in every game. I mean, even the 49ers at this point looked like we could beat them. So, like, that was one of the only teams I feared on the season.
Yeah.
And so, for the most part, there's some things of just offense figuring out the right personnel play calling. And, again, I hate to see this where it takes us another half to figure the game out. They came up short against the Colts last week, but they were starting to figure it out. So, I just feel like
Koo Young Ho for the win.
Young Ho.
Oh, my goodness.
Young Ho Koo.
What a Koo Young Ho.
No, Young Ho Koo.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, to me, I think the conversation on this Bears team right now is, the development of Caleb Williams. Do we think that Caleb navigated the game well? I do. Second half, I think that he came out much more confident. I think he moved the ball well. I think he took what the defense was giving him, and he also anticipated how the offensive line was playing. I still think the offensive line is absolutely abysmal. Caleb Williams ended up tallying. How many sacks did he end up tallying in this game?
I thought it was 2, wasn't it? Or was it 3?
I got to look at the defense here. He was sacked 3 times. Realistically speaking, he was sacked 6 times, but 3 of them are negated by penalties.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Well, that's something we got to deal with, but it's also establishing the run game. It looked a lot better. Swift was unleashed today.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked really good. He looked like, well, that's what we brought him here for. A couple quick moves and shifts, and next thing you know, this guy's, breaking some runs. So, the idea is that, again, I've been saying this too. It takes a while for the offense to click. It takes about 4 weeks. Dare I say even 5 weeks before it really starts to, get going. And Shane Walters getting used to this offensive line, this personnel. He didn't have the same. This is a whole new personnel grouping that he had from where he was in Seattle. So, not necessarily make excuses, but it's a lot of factors that are involved in trying to make a cohesive offense click. And the first half was bad or not that great. And then
first half was bad.
It wasn't as bad as other games, but it still wasn't that great.
No, it was still bad. But what happens is the defense gave you a turnover at the 20 and you turned it into something. It was bad.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Little trickeration. Oh, that's the end of that.
Right, there you go.
That one wasn't even fun. That one was over immediately. But no, I think the first half was bad. You can say that. I think that Shane Waldron came out and absolutely was not prepared for what the Rams were going to throw at him. I think that in the first half, the offensive execution was absolutely atrocious. The first play of the game, or was it? No, the first drive of the game ends on a screen pass to Roma Dunes or to Cole Kmet. The Roma Dunes that just whiffs on a block. It's not even like he tried to make a block. And do I like the play call? No. Yeah. But do I like can I excuse the fact that even though I don't like the play call, that the execution was piss poor? I can't. And so I think that in the second half, what happened, and we mentioned it during the game, Joel, the execution all of a sudden was elite. The same screen passes were getting called. The same short passes over the top getting called. All the same stuff, but the blocking was more efficient. On the touchdown pass that Caleb throws, I had to commend Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones for the job that they did blocking.
Yeah.
Like, I think that when you look at the things that will compound against you, if you have play calling that you feel is questionable, and on top of that, you have player execution that is just absolutely abysmal, you're going to absolutely get crushed. And I think that's why we've seen the Bears offense struggle today in the second half. I think that the player execution was elite.
It got better. Definitely. Now we look like we started to click in that second half. It was just a different team than it was in that first half. That first half was hard to watch. That was a struggle.
And for everybody who is a special teams aficionado out here, I will admit on this stream, Tory Taylor put the Bears in some great positions defensively in this game.
He did.
As a 4th round pick, if we're gonna have a conversation on it, as a 4th round pick, Tory Taylor balled out today.
Yeah, he did good.
I'm mad that we had to see him so much.
I think as a
dog, is that a 58-yarder?
As the season moves on, we should see a little bit less of him, hopefully. Rick 66 said that's with the overthrows, though. Caleb's accuracy. Yes, there's some things that Caleb, I was a little worried. Like, he definitely missed a couple throws where it's like, now we think one was more pulling up on the route.
Yes, the other one was DJ Moore when he pulls up.
The one before that was an overthrow to Rome.
That was an overthrow to Rome, yeah.
I think he had 3 overthrows. Didn't he have a third?
He had a few, but I think here's the thing. He's a rookie quarterback getting used to new wide receivers. Overthrows are normal. You know what makes the overthrows 10 times worse? When it's all on his shoulders to make all the plays. You know what makes the overthrows 10 times worse? When, you know, you're taking a sack on 3rd and 1 that absolutely puts you out of field goal range. What makes the overthrows worse is when you're running a play where the players don't execute it. Like he's a rookie quarterback in his 4th NFL game.
Yeah.
The overthrows I can deal with. The things that I can't deal with is the fact that his offensive line is falling on his back or is falling on in his lap almost every single time down the field in that first half.
Hold on, Pat. Did we do 700 and then 800 in the chat?
We did do 700, but we did not do over 800 in the chat. 800.
Baki is silly, man. Justin Fields, 20 for 20, 30, 292 passing yards, 1 pass touchdown, 43 rush yards, 2 rush touchdowns for fantasy purposes. I do have Justin Fields for fantasy purposes.
How many points Justin gets you today?
For me in the HFL, he has a whopping 33 points.
Oh, it's not a bad day for fantasy purposes.
Yes, for fantasy purposes.
He's sitting on your bench?
No, I started him.
Oh, okay. All right. Not bad.
I had Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Anthony Richardson.
You have no choice but to start Justin Fields.
Yeah, so I'm definitely starting Justin Fields.
You have absolutely no choice but to start Justin Fields. For fantasy purposes, I'm not doing too bad myself, and half my team has not played. Who's adding Malik Willis?
Is
that what they
only
just
got
said?
me a whopping 2.5 points.
Hey, man, listen. At the end of the day, I think here's the thing with this Bears team where they're at right now.
It's growing.
The defense is there.
And the offense is still waiting.
The defense is there. And the offense is slowly figuring it out. And they're trying to figure it out through navigating the struggles that they have offensively. And guess what? This was the first game, especially in that second half. This is the first game where you were able to overcome the fact that you had your players up front that are struggling, that are a little bit more mediocre, right? Like let's call it what it is.
Yeah. But
at the same time, you had a play caller who said, all right, we got to do a better job protecting this quarterback. We're going 12. We're going max protect here. We're going 12 personnel. We saw a run play where Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and Mercedes Lewis are all on the field at the same time. And yes, Jason Dial, the $8 million man, did look a lot better today. He looked pretty good today. We're 4 weeks into the season. He just totaled everything he had through the first 3 games today. Everything that he did in the first 3 games, he just topped it today. Like, no, you're not finna sit here and tell me, oh my God, he was worth $8 million. Get out of here, though. Let's stop it.
For the record, I wanted Saquon, so I'm happy we have Swift. I'm cool with Swift, but
I'm not. But listen.
What all the alternatives
at the end of the day, I think here's what it comes down to. You got a Bears offense that's starting to figure things out. They're starting to figure out how to navigate it. Dare I say Shane Waldron called a good second half? I think that he called a pretty good second half. Dare I say this Bears team executed a pretty good second half. And I think that those are the things that are important if you're going to find ways to win offensively in this league. And that's what I want to see this Bears team continue to do. Find ways to make things easy for yourself. Find ways to make Caleb's life just a little bit easier. It is a 31-24 Panthers game, right? Or Bengals game, but the Panthers have 24 points. Is Andy Dalton better than we think he is? Does Andy Dalton? Well, Andy Dalton versus the Panthers or versus the Bengals. You know he want to prove something.
Tell you the truth, I mean, I don't want to disrespect Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was a dog.
Andy Dalton was a nice QB. Andy Dalton's always been a nice QB.
He's always been a pretty good QB.
I don't know about dog.
I was happy that when we had got him the first time, like, okay, we can have him, protect Justin and all that stuff. But again, it's like a good quarterback comes to a bad situation, a bad coaching, bad everything else. So it's just funny how consistent, this organization has been in terms of providing the means that you need for people to succeed. So you can't just have it, not just a quarterback. You need a line. You need a scheme. All these things got to work together.
I like Jason. Dalton is competent. One big takeaway from today's game for you, Joe. What you got?
Offense, like I said, it's getting better. It takes a while. It takes a while for offense to click, and we're starting to see it. Like, we just got to get these offense is clicking. It's starting to get better. That's my takeaway.
My big takeaway from today's game is that this defense will show up when you need it most. And if you put them in a position to have you win the game, they can go out there and do it, which is why I don't have a problem with how the Bears went out there and finished out that game with the last drive of the game. I mean, listen, Torrey Taylor punting that ball well puts you in an absolute godsend position, but your defense gets the big stop, gets the big takeaway. How many takeaways today for the defense? 2? Or is that 3? Did we get a fumble?
Interception. Brisker should have had the other interception, but that didn't count.
But Jalen got one, right? Jalen got an interception.
What swag you talking about? What swag? What are you talking about?
Interception. Is the Brisker one the only pick? I thought Jalen had one, no?
I don't remember.
I guess not.
Let me look it up.
I guess not. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's look it up.
No, it's just the Brisker one. Is that our only turnover for the day?
2 turnovers.
Team stat.
We had 2 turnovers, a fumble loss.
Fumble and an interception.
We should have
another 2 turnover day. Another 2 turnover day. I love it. I love it.
That's good. And see, the thing is, in the past, it was more about the offense not shooting themselves in the foot, not fumbling the ball in critical moments. So we did good. We didn't lose the game. My thing was, I'd rather you score to put the game out of reach versus now I have to depend on my defense to bail us out or win the game. It just happened that Stafford threw the ball and,
Yeah, but I think that's the thing. You can. It's not have to. It's want to. Like, that's the strong unit. The unit I don't want to depend on to win the game right now is my offense.
Well, not when I pointed 2nd and 7 or 3 or whatever it was. But I hear you. They won the game. It would have been nice to get the field goal, ice the game all the way out. So it didn't matter.
Yeah, getting the field goal would have been nice. I'm not, listen, I'm all for scoring more points, but we'll see what it ends up being. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For the super producer, Joel Holt, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. We'll be back at it again tomorrow on The Daily Show, as always. And, of course, me and Jordan JC over on The Morning Breeze. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down. One love. Peace.
One love.
One love.
Oh, stuff from my man.